Have you ever wondered how a human life actually begins? How does a microscopic sperm cell from the father overcome countless obstacles inside the mother's body to lay the foundation for a new life? And how does a single cell gradually transform into a baby with a beating heart, a developing brain, and a complete body? Today, we will explore this incredible journey in detail, from conception to birth. Welcome to Zenvy Health. A new life begins when a man and a woman have sexual intercourse. During this process, millions of sperm cells are released into the woman's reproductive tract. A single ejaculation can contain around 200 to 300 million sperm, but most of them do not survive the journey. The acidic environment of the vagina, cervical mucus, and various natural barriers of the female reproductive system allow only the strongest and healthiest sperm to continue forward. Those that survive travel through the uterus and eventually reach the fallopian tube. Meanwhile, during ovulation, a mature egg is released from the ovary and enters the fallopian tube. If sperm are present during this time, one of them may successfully reach the egg. Interestingly, sperm can survive inside the female reproductive tract for up to 3 to 5 days. When a single sperm successfully penetrates the outer layer of the egg and enters it, fertilization occurs. At that exact moment, the mother's 23 chromosomes and the father's 23 chromosomes combine to form a new cell containing 46 chromosomes. This new cell is called a zygote. It is at this moment that the genetic identity of a new human being is established. But this is only the beginning. Immediately after fertilization, the zygote begins dividing rapidly. It first becomes 2 cells, then 4, 8, 16, 32, and continues dividing into hundreds of cells. Around the 3rd day, it forms a solid ball of cells known as a morula. Soon a cavity develops within it, transforming it into a blastocyst. The outer cells of the blastocyst will later develop into the placenta, while the inner cells will become the baby's body. Within about 5 to 7 days, the blastocyst reaches the uterus and attaches itself firmly to the uterine wall. This process is known as implantation. At this stage, an extraordinary life support system begins to form: the placenta and the umbilical cord. The placenta acts as a bridge between mother and baby. Inside the womb, the baby does not breathe using its lungs. Instead, oxygen from the mother's bloodstream passes through the placenta and is delivered to the baby through the umbilical cord. Likewise, the nutrients from the food the mother eats, including glucose, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals, are transferred to the baby through the placenta and umbilical cord. Remarkably, the mother's blood and the baby's blood do not mix directly. The placenta functions as a highly specialized exchange system, allowing essential substances to pass between them. Just as the baby receives oxygen and nutrients, waste products must also be removed. Carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes produced by the baby travel back through the umbilical cord to the placenta and are then eliminated by the mother's lungs, kidneys, and other organs. In other words, throughout pregnancy, the baby depends entirely on the mother's body for oxygen, nutrition, and waste removal. Following implantation, 3 important layers known as germ layers begin to form within the embryo. These layers eventually give rise to every organ and tissue in the body. The first layer develops into the brain, spinal cord, and nervous system. The second layer forms the heart, blood, muscles, and bones. The third layer develops into the lungs, liver, intestines, and digestive system. At this stage, the embryo is so tiny that it is nearly invisible to the naked eye, yet the blueprint for an entire human being is already being established. By the 3rd week, the earliest structures of the brain and spinal cord begin to form. By the 4th and 5th weeks, the primitive heart starts developing and soon begins to beat. By the 2nd month, the early structures of the eyes, ears, arms, and legs become visible. By the end of the 3rd month, most major organs have formed, and the embryo is now referred to as a fetus. During the 4th and 5th months, the baby grows rapidly. Its muscles and bones become stronger, and it begins moving its arms and legs inside the womb. Many mothers first feel these movements during this period. By the 6th and 7th months, the baby's hearing develops, allowing it to respond to its mother's voice, music, and sounds from the outside world. The brain undergoes rapid development as billions of neural connections are formed. During the 8th and 9th months, the baby gains weight, the lungs mature, body fat accumulates, and the baby prepares for life outside the womb. It usually turns into a head-down position, making vaginal birth possible. When pregnancy reaches approximately 38 to 40 weeks, hormonal changes trigger the onset of labor. The muscles of the uterus begin contracting and relaxing repeatedly. These contractions gradually become stronger and more frequent. As this happens, the cervix slowly dilates and opens. Typically, it must expand to about 10 centimeters to allow the baby to pass through the birth canal. During labor, the mother may experience intense pain, pressure, and exhaustion as the uterus continues pushing the baby downward. This process can last for many hours. Once the cervix is fully dilated, the combined force of uterine contractions and the mother's pushing efforts helps move the baby through the birth canal. Usually, the baby's head emerges first, followed by the shoulders and the rest of the body. After birth, healthcare professionals clamp and cut the umbilical cord because the baby is now ready to breathe independently and begin life outside the womb. And finally, after approximately 9 months of this extraordinary journey, a new human being enters the world. Just imagine, a single fertilized cell transforms into billions of cells, a beating heart, a complex brain, and a fully developed human body. It is one of nature's most incredible miracles. If you enjoyed this information, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Zenvy Health for more fascinating and educational videos about health and science. Thank you. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. For any personal medical concerns related to pregnancy or childbirth, please consult a qualified healthcare professional.